Shalom, shalom, Ishbakar. This is Yerigal checking in. I just wanted to check in real quick with you guys and talk just a little bit about what's going on in Israel. I know you guys have seen that there's been another strike, or another few strikes on Ramah over the weekend after the ICC, the International Court, has commanded Israel that they cease their offensive in Ramah. If I'm saying that name wrong, please forgive me, but I believe it's in Ramah. And this is the last holdout for the Palestinian refugees, is what they are now. They dropped what they said to be 60 bombs on an area the size of Manhattan and killed like 100 people overnight or over the weekend. So there's still a massacre going on. There's still a genocide that is happening right in front of everybody's eyes. And the Muslim world isn't talking about it. The Israel, the false Ashkenazi Israel world is participating in it and joyous that it's happening. And then also the American world is not stopping it, right? If we're supposed to be the policemen of the world, I say we tongue in cheek because I don't live in America, but if we're supposed to be the policemen of the world, then we're the most corrupt policemen of all time, because clearly there's a genocide happening and clearly America is funding the genocide happening. And just to tell you guys what's going on so you won't be confused, you have 4 different factions here. And in each of these, or should I say, you have 4 different factions here. And each faction, let me explain this to you guys. Each faction of people is a Gogite clan. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't have any Semites involved in this conflict. You don't have any Hamites involved in this conflict. You have only Japhetites, only sons of Japheth, and only the sons that come from Gog and Gomer, those tribes. So you have the Gogites, which are all of the region. You have Ashkenaz, which is a Gogite. And so in history, if you are following, the Scythians, who are the Gogite clan that Josephus identifies as Magog, right there, the Scythians, right? The Scythians come east, or I should say come west from the east, and conquer the Cimmerians. It's spelled Cimerrians, Cimmerians. But that Cimmerians is not Sumerians. They're different, right? So the Cimmerians are actually Gomerites, because that Cimer is the same thing as Gomer. I know you're like, oh, that looks like 2 different words. But when you translate and you get the differences in, I'll be out in a minute, son. When you get the differences in pronunciation, when you get the differences in sound and hearing, names change, right? Just like the Greeks called the Gogites Scythians, you have the Greeks also calling the Gomerites Cimmerians. Do you see what I'm saying? Or Cimmerians, because that G and that C are sometimes interchangeable, even with the term Caucasus, as in the Caucasus Mountains where all these people are from. That word Cauk, that C-A-U-C, is actually Gog. Do you understand what I'm saying? That Cauk is translated as cock, but in their understanding is Caucasus Mountains. So those mountains are the region, the Caucasus Mountains are the region where Gog comes from. Georgia, Ukraine, Russia, all those different people. So the Cimmerians became mixed in with the Scythians and became one tribe. And that tribe is where the Ashkenazim comes from. So you have a Gogite tribe that is the Ashkenazim, that's the Israelites that we see today, the ones that are claiming to be but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. We all know the scripture behind that. Those people are the Ashkenaz. They are Gog, Magog. The Palestinians, if you do a DNA test, the Palestinians and the Ashkenazim are related. They're related people, they're cousins, right? And so that means that the Ashkenazim are fighting another Gogite clan that is just in the region. You know, these are savage tribes, or they used to be savage tribes. They can't necessarily be called savage anymore because they feel like they have high culture now, and even though they're doing the same raids, doing the same killing of their neighbors that they've always done for thousands of years, they have a tag of civilization, so now they're not savage anymore. So they are doing what, you know, savage tribes do, which is bum rushing and conquering their other counterparts, right? And so these Palestinians are being conquered by the Gogite clans to their east. So the Ashkenazim are just Gogite conquering a smaller and weaker Gogite clan. Do you see what I'm saying? And trying to exterminate them. Do you see what I mean? So it doesn't matter that they're the same people. This is what Gog does, right? And so they work together and they work separately, you know, just like the feet and toes of Mary Clay, right? And so the Gogite tribe that is controlling Israel is the most powerful Gogite tribe in the world because it's controlling all the other Gogite tribes. Germany is a Gogite tribe. You see, white skin, blue eyes, blonde hair are characteristics that only come from Gog. They can only come from Gog because that particular line way back at Japheth, you know, branched into the upper northern regions where these characteristics, you can say evolved, you can say mutated. These characteristics became prevalent in this group of people. And so it could only come from those group of people. So blue eyes, blonde hair, white skin are the characteristics of Gog. No way around it, no racism about it. Just like black hair, brown eyes, and black skin is a characteristic of Ham, white skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair is a characteristic of Gog. Now, it won't be all of Gog that has this, but it'll be some of these Gog tribes that have this characteristic. So what we see is Germany is a Gogite tribe. England is a Gogite tribe. Belgium, France, these are all Gogite tribes. Italy, Gogite tribe. All of North Africa, Gogite tribes. All of what they call the Middle East, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, what else do we got over there? Jordan, Afghanistan, all of these different stands are Gogite tribes. They were all conquered by the Goths. They were all conquered by the Visigoths. They were all conquered by the Khazars. They were all conquered by the Mongols. They were all conquered by the Vandals. They were conquered by the Turks. The Turks are called the Gok Turks. So why are they called the Gok Turks? Because of the Gog right there in front. Gog Turks. It's just a faction of Gog. So all of the Arabs are Gog. All of the Europeans are Gog. Most of the Chinese and Japanese are Gog. This is what I mean. All the Americans are Gog. All the Canadians are Gog. All the Australians are Gog. All the white South Africans are Gog. And the rest of the world, the rest of the clans, the Semites and the Hamites, are in Africa squeezed together, are in South America squeezed together, you know, are scattered throughout the nations. Do you see what I'm saying? All the Hamite tribes, all the Semite tribes are either wiped out, assimilated with Gog, or in captivity. And we know the most serious captivity is right there in America, with the actual Israelites being put into a severe captivity. But we're seeing this genocide occur in Palestine from the leading Gogite clans. And they're all in on it together because guess what? The Gogite clans all did human sacrifice. They all did these rituals where human sacrifice was required. And they are all now participating, whether it be by by funding the war, by funding the bombs, or by omission, by not doing anything, right? Or even funding the oil, because we know we still got oil and stuff coming from the Middle East to Israel. You still got plans that are putting together, building projects and stuff that are still being funneled into Israel from the Middle East. They're still supporting the genocide, even though these are supposedly their Muslim brothers. They're supporting the genocide because they're all secretly Gogite clans. Rus is a Gogite clan. Do you see what I'm saying? All the white nations of the world and the Arab nations and the Chinese nations are Gog. That is a large group of people. Do you guys understand that this is Ezekiel 38 and 39? These are a large group of people that control the world. You are living in a Gog world that the Bible predicted 2,500 years ago. You're seeing, for 1,000 years, since about 1200 AD, the beginnings of the Gog-Magog rule over the earth. And it will come to a head. And it looks like it's coming to a head now. You guys understand that? Because we've got false Israel, Gog, in the place where he shouldn't be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what comes after that, right? Okay, you guys, just wanted to take a quick break from the teacher stories to let y'all know that there's still a genocide going on that you should absolutely be paying attention to, because it has to do with your land, it has to do with your heritage, it has to do with your people. And let's not forget that anytime that there's an injustice in the world, that we need to stand up and say something about it, because we as Israelites, not Americans, Israelites, are responsible for the Gentiles of this world. We are responsible for their behavior. We have to stand up and say, this is wrong. We have to understand among ourselves, hey, this is wrong. We can't say enemy versus enemy so that this enemy wipes out that enemy and hey, everything's good to go. No, we still have to stand up for this being wrong. And Yah could be clearing out that land for us to re-inhabit soon, right? This whole thing could be for us to re-inhabit, but we still have our laws to go on. We still have what we know is fair and right and just, and we still need to stand up for the underdog, even if they are half a Scythian, even if they are a Gogite versus a Gogite, you know. It doesn't matter. We still have to stand up for the right thing, right? And support the right thing. Not supporting Islam, not supporting Christianity, not supporting Judaism, but respecting and supporting the commandments of Yah, right? The right ruling. You have to have right ruling no matter what. The reason why it looks all confused and complicated and all these different things is because Gog managed to hold on to all world religion. So Gog converted from paganism to Christianity. Gog converted from paganism to Judaism in the Khazars. Gog converted from paganism to Islam in the Turks. Do you see what I'm saying? The Rus. Gog converted from paganism to Christianity. Do you see what I mean? They can be any of the three Abrahamic religions because they're none of them. Do you see what I'm saying? They could be any single one because they don't come from any line of Shem. They could just adopt whatever they want and then just use that religion as a control mechanism, right? That's why what they've been doing to us for the past 400 years, even though it's our system that they're using, they've managed to twist it around and turn it back on us, right? Anyway, you guys, just wanted to have a couple thoughts or share a couple thoughts on what's going on in Israel. Pay attention. This is Gog and Magog, world rule, happening now. 2,500-year-old prophecy coming to light right before our eyes. Anytime you see King of the North that's outside of Daniel 11 or Daniel 10, where it's talking about the King of the North being the Seleucid Empire versus the Queen of the South, which is the Egyptian, the Cleopatra era, the Ptolemies, that part, the King of the North, is a different person. But any other time you see King of the North in a future far prophecy, it's talking about Gog. Anytime you see Antichrist, do you guys understand that the Antichrist prophecy is talking about the King of the North? The Antichrist prophecy is talking about Gog. So every time you see Antichrist, you should hear Gog. Do you understand what I mean? You guys have to know that this is the prophecy. You've got the Gog image of the anti-Messiah right now. Jesus is the Gogite Messiah. Do you guys understand that? Okay. All right, you guys. Shalom, shalom.